The show is spectacular. It has the best Albert Paley I've ever seen in my life. It's been a spectacular show. When you go through, you'll get an idea. Some of you are friends of mine on Facebook, so you'll see the pictures. But today we're gonna walk on through. So any minute, we'll be sharing the screen.
I'll tell you a little history about Habitat Galleries. We started in 1971. My father, Ferdinand Hampson, Linda Boone, his sister, and her husband at the time, Tom Boone, started the gallery as a print shop, believe it or not, selling work like by Robert Rauschenberg and Klaus Oldenburg and a number of other Bergs. And eventually we got into getting involved in glass. We did so by coming across a show that had a artist by the name of Gilbert Johnson, who was doing some interesting pieces, Marvin Lepovsky and a few others. And we decided to have the National. And so the National started in 1972. And I have two pieces that were in the National from 1972. I'm going to show them to you. This beautiful vessel. And this beautiful vessel. I want you to look at both of them. They both look unbelievably similar. Are they the same artist? No, they're not. They're not the same artist. This was done in 1972 by Mark Peiser. And this was made in 1972 by Richard Ritter. But if you look at them, they look very, very similar. You literally have to flip them over to figure out who made what.
By the way,
I mean, so back then, well, that's the point. That's the point. Okay. So my father, he's in the background. Look at this guy. Come in here, Ferd. Come in here. Just say hi.
Can Andrew hear your voice?
Andrew, not if you can hear my voice. Okay, good, good. All right, good. This is Ferdinand Hampton, the founder of Habitat Galleries, and he's with Kathy, my mother, and we are kind of hanging out. And even though that they're walking around, they started the gallery a long time ago, and these look exactly like each other. We couldn't figure out who made what. So what's kind of cool is they thought that it was doomed. They thought that glass, this show was going to be doomed, and the next year all the work was going to look very similar. And so why have a show? Why have a show when you don't know who made what? And what ended up happening was something really kind of crazy. These artists came to the show and they saw their work and they said, boy, this looks exactly like the other artists. I got to do something different. So the next year they were reluctant to have the show, but they did. And when they did, they discovered all these new different techniques and artists making different things and breaking out of the vessel form and starting to really express themselves using this material. And that pretty much spawned the start of today's International Glass Invitational.
Tell Andrew to push share screen.
Andrew, push share screen.
That's all you got to do.
That's
Andrew.
all you got to do.
Look at that thing and push share screen.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes. I can hear you. You got to share the screen, and we're going to walk right into the International. And as soon as we do that,
hold on.
Okay, all right.
Share that screen, Andrew.
I'm gonna go sell some stuff.
Oh, good thing. I appreciate your help. And
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right. There's gonna get a lot of.
Can you hear me? You still hear me?
You better make sure. Andrew, make sure that none of those texts show up because it's very embarrassing. All right, most of them are from my wife. Okay, so we are sharing screen right now.
Turn on the camera again.
Turn on the camera.
Going, hold on.
Okay.
All right. We're getting there. We're so close. I can feel.
Oh, great. I'm glad I'm part of that feed.
Yeah.
It's horrible. It's horrible. They're my golf guys. They're not, don't read a thing.
Okay. Instead of sharing screen, let me try spotlighting him.
Oh, spotlighting. Okay. Don't share the screen. We're going to try spotlighting you. Okay. That's a whole other process.
Oh.
No, okay, I can see. Yeah. We're good. We're good today. The
other one. Okay. Just a sec.
In a minute, I'm gonna have you share.
Hey,
Linda.
Hi,
if
Linda.
That doesn't work. Share my individual.
Oh, there you go. Okay, all right. So here we are. Habitat Galleries, established 1971, 50 years ago.
Go
I
inside,
wasn't even
Andrew,
a
go
thought. As you
inside.
walk inside to the gallery, you're going to see a lot of spotlights everywhere. Unfortunately, glass is a tough thing to video. Well, you know, so here we were making vessels at one point, and artists started to explore different materials, different ways to create art using the material. And I want to talk about that for a second because it's kind of interesting. You're moving too fast, Andrew. Slow down, slow down. Let's go on that poodle for a second. So, you know, part of the problem is the vocabulary that we use. We like to use the word studio glass movement. There has never been a material-based movement. It's never happened. In the entire span of the art world, there's never been a movement. There's only about 10 to 13 different movements that would be accepted and be considered accepted into the arts if we utilize those movements or try to file different artists that we represent into those movements.
The Washington Color School, that was painting.
Yeah, but was it an ism? Was it an ism? Was it an ism? I don't know if it is an ism. The Washington School of Glass, it was painting. I don't know. So, you know, it's been a kind of a struggle for us. And Larry Seabrook gave a brilliant talk once, and it took about 2 years for it to soak in. But he said, what we're doing isn't glass, art, glass, it's sculpture. And what he was showing at the time were Anish Kapoor mixed with Vladimir Klumpar. He had Daniel Clayman next to Richard Serra. There were different artists juxtaposed to what is being made and created in glass. Therefore, out of context, we wouldn't use the idea of the technical aspect, and we would break out of those traditional ways of talking about the material and just look for these objects for what they are and how we can talk about them. And they are art. They are art. And we've had this conversation back and forth, and Ferd and I had a long dialogue going back and forth that we finally figured it out. And guess what? I took one look at it and I said, this is completely wrong. This is completely wrong. So now we're kind of back trying to figure out exactly what we're looking at. And really, like I said, Larry said it best. It is sculpture. It's contemporary art. It is sculpture. So as we're going and panning through the room, I want you to see these beautiful gold pieces. They were created by Tomasz Heleviczka, who came from his father-in-law worked in glass, but he was an architect, and he built these pieces based on that knowledge that he had in the architectural field. And so they are layers of glass that he has heated up. But I want you to look at the vessel and the contours on the inside and the relationship and the dialogue, the interior of the vessel shape has with the exterior of the vessel. It literally communicates with itself, which is quite incredible. So as we walk around, again, we have about 100 artists from 35 different countries that we are representing in this exhibition. Tomasz Heleviczka just being one of them. Halava is his father-in-law, Pavel, from the Czech Republic. Halava in Czech, as Doug would tell you, means head. Heleviczka means little head, just by total coincidence. He married Zdenka, Pavel's wife, and has been creating glass ever since. Let's pan around the room. So we're here. We are. Here's Jack's work. Look how this is unbelievably creative. Done on the end of a
beautiful. I love
how the face is kind of. It's three separate elements that come together that make one. But these were done in the old tradition of blowing glass. So instead of making vessels, they have experimented with other ways and ways to create a dialogue, a message to send to the viewer. And look at over here, you can see the little belly button on the bottom of this piece. I love the nose coming down. It is a abstract figure. So, I mean, I think they're, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Kind of like they remind me of the Reclining Nude by Henry Moore. Wouldn't you say?
I think they're better in person too. I think it's always tough with that kind of lighting. It's always tough to see, but they're spectacular.
Okay.
The ribbon man there.
Oh, I love that. The eye. Okay, let's pan out of the room. We're gonna go to the next room. Oh wait, Hannah Gibson. Don't forget her. Let's go back. Go back. Go back. This is what I love about the Zoom is I can go to the left, go to the left, go to the left. It's Jose Chartier's doing for Hannah Gibson. Now, what's interesting about these is you say robots, I say Legos. I step on them on a daily basis. I've got kids. They drive me nuts. I mean, absolutely nuts.
I don't have kids. I don't know. Like, right, go ahead.
But what I love about them is Hannah's idea is she wanted to combine two different colors. and she didn't know if they were compatible. And so what I love about these is it's her message about marriage or relationships. Sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. But if you look at this sculpture, it's a successful marriage, you know, of material.
Plus, she
And-
also did it because they're reactive colors, and each person reacts to the other, giving a third color. That's what it was.
Okay, well, reactive. I mean,
The blue and yellow
can you
reactive
think of
wood.
any other relationship that's not reactive? I mean, so these are kind of a self-exploration of you know, who we are intimately in our reactions to other people. So let's go and pan out of the room, okay? Because we got a lot to see.
A lot out there.
And Margit Toth from Budapest, you know, incredible
That's
Pate
really
Ver
cool.
artist.
A lot of color.
Yeah, yeah. And now here we're going into Ertz IRDS and then some really beautiful pieces. Stephen Powell in the corner. Oh my gosh.
Let's get close.
Thank you. Let's get close to some of these. Look at this one. Stop. Oh, to the right, to the right, to the right. Look at this. Okay, let's come in close and look at this gushing waterfall. I love this piece. This is our next one-person exhibition. We don't have many of them. This is done by Vladimira Klumpar's. There's a little ballerina there. Vladimira Klumpar's son, Michael Pavlik, and Michael Pavlik's and Vladimir Klumpar's son.
Yeah.
What I love about that is, you know, she's in the studio, so there's some influence of her geometry in the work. However, he's brought some nature elements, and where you have, it feels like a waterfall coming down and breaking this plane, this really simple plane. And I just love the juxtaposition of color and texture with the density of the glass. But really, what a spectacular piece. That is the largest piece he's ever created. And he sent it in for the international. So we really kind of proud to have it. All right, let's go.
His name's Klumper number 3.
Mr. Klumpar, baby Klumpar. Comploy from Austria. Very simple, minimal forms, but they pick up light from all around. We don't have these lit whatsoever. Kind of like, when I mentioned earlier, Anish Kapoor's work, where he works with this metallic finish. However, he does more structural work, minus the beam in Chicago. But I just love the way the form is concave and convex and picks up light and distorts the movement around it. But I think they're really phenomenal. You put light on them and they're nearly blinding. But they're, how could you not say that this is not sculpture? You know, it's really just the beautiful, beautiful forms. Let's keep on moving, because again, we got a lot to see, Andrew.
And to give away at the end of the Zoom.
And to give away at the end of this Zoom.
Yeah.
Monica Guthersberg and Philip Baldwin. So as technicians like Lino Pietra, they are phenomenal glass blowers, and the cold work that is done is absolutely remarkable by a couple artists that are on the island of Venice they used to work with, but they really masterful of a master of color and shape and form. In fact, designers at the Venetian Corporation. What I love about this piece, and I didn't even realize it until I listened to her, Monica talk, she said, these are people. These are people, and they tend to come in 3s and 7s, and so now I see, instead of these beautiful modern objects, I say modern in the sense of Noel and Eames and a number of the artists that worked back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, but also now I see this figurative element that's been brought into just by creating the right dialogue with the work. But really a wonderful
Super texture,
body
really
of
nice when you feel it. It's so textured. Beautiful.
yeah. But now I can't stop and see. It's a family. You know, it's what it is. It's a family. And so let's keep on banding around, Andrew. Okay. Oh, this is Josh Simpson. This was created for this is the largest paperweight ever created. It was created for the Corning Museum of Glass. There were 2 that were created. They chose one, and this is another piece. It's a kind of a demo piece. It weighs close to 250 pounds. It's all done on the end of a blowpipe. And he had 10 attempts, kind of like some other artists we know. 10 attempts to create these 2, and CMOG picked one, and then this one, of course, is on display, but the largest marble to commemorate their 1000th marble.
Actually, it says CMOG inside one of the coastlines inside, so you know it's one of the actual ones for the Corning Museum of Glass.
Pan to the left. Thank you. Lucy Lyons, she was one of our presenters today. So what you missed was a wonderful talk by Lucy. She was inspired by artists such as Leo Wingfield, and she studied with Bertel Valien, as well as did some castings at Pilchuck with Clifford Rainey. And in the presentation, we got to see kind of an insight into her earlier work. And it really, the theme is kind of carried on with the, the communication between people, the negative space, the space, the air in between the people are just as important as the people themselves. And you can see that they're communicating. This woman's a little bit unhappy. I don't know if she's looking at the other woman who's kind of, showing off for the man. Some jealousy there. I know I've experienced that in my before, but as you go to the left, there's another really phenomenal example of her work. Go to the left, you see, to the right. Oh, actually, this is one of these. Every one of these, look at the communication. They have doppelgangers. So, they're people that you connect with, not because you necessarily look like them, but maybe because you've got something in common that you don't know about. There's this connection, this ethereal connection that we were all connected at one point, made from one cell that is duplicated into double cells and so on and so forth. So there is some weird type of connection scientifically that we're not able to really explain. But as you're walking by somebody at a train station, you might see somebody and say, oh my gosh, I know you. Well, you could have been part of that person years ago. I mean, it's kind of wild. Look at the connection. As a
caster, every caster looks up to Lucy Lyons. Her castings are absolutely spectacular. I would just say, especially as a figurative caster, she's the best.
So that particular piece she had cast at Linda Ross's, and then she utilizes Lahotsky Studio in the Czech Republic, the same place where Peter Bremmer's, Karen Lamont, the Lubinskys used to cast their work out of. Really talented place to create.
She keeps trying to steal my assistant because my assistant's really good at casting, but I'm not letting her.
Made up story. Sam's making a story. You know what? I speak from the truth. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, let's walk. Okay, let's pan out of the room. We're gonna go into another room. We don't have a tremendous amount of time. And I'd like people to see look at this Slovakian artist Zora Palova. I love that. I love that work. I love this show because the diversity of the work. And Matthew Curtis from Australia. That does not say Australia to you. I don't know what does. Everything kind of hits you in the face with the colors. Peter Bremmer's
his vibration series, always good.
Again, about connection. So we're all connected to these vibrations that you don't see, but they're there. They're radio waves, they're molecules that are constantly moving. We're all connected in some way. And so this is a new series by Peter. And again, I want you to look at it like sculpture, not, wow, that's a beautiful casting, or boy, I love that color. What if it wasn't made of glass? Would it matter? It's still just a beautiful, beautiful sculpture.
I would also say, because of COVID, a lot of these artists have had 2 years to work on some of the best work they've ever made. And here it is at the show. So
thank you. Yeah. Thank you. And I agree. This is a very interesting form by Rick Beck. This is left. This is based on a pic that he had created with his father named Walt, who passed away a number of years ago. But they remember that together they were working on a sculpture together, the only sculpture, and it was a pickaxe. And this was kind of commemorating that one moment, that one memory that they shared together. Let's pan out to the right. Okay, keep on going, Michael Rogers' work. And so I spoke to Michael. We texted back and forth, and I said, what's your work about? Let me, I see the boat form. Tell me about your work. Michael said, during COVID, I realized more than ever, we're all in the same boat together. And so again, the yin and yang made kind of the same material, looking at life, that they're one element was connected to another one at one time. The ruggedness, the cleanness, the surface texture. They're really successful boat shaped forms, and we've all kind of relate to that moment that we've all had the suffering, but we've all also had some wonderful things that happened to us. And so I love that connection. You're moving too fast a little bit. It's a little choppy, Andrew. Let's slow it down a little bit, smooth it out.
There you go. I will say Michael Rogers is the teacher to so many people in this room, and probably the intellectual voice for the glass movement in many ways. So
Yeah.
having any piece by Malcolm Rogers, because he doesn't make that many, is a spectacular moment.
He was the professor at RIT and decided to go to Japan and live there for about a decade and really studies work made in the Baltics. Really kind of a phenomenal artist himself, but it shows at very few galleries. And so we're honored to have him. I love these honeycomb shapes. Again, a Slovakian artist that we picked up at Majartin's home. And I love the honeycomb. I love the cathedral. You know, it really makes you feel like, you know, a little mini world as you pass through the gates. Let's continue through the show. Emily Brock, of course, many of you know her. Many of you have her. Richard Royal's work. I don't know where to go. Where do I go? Richard Royal. You know, I love these stacked forms of gems that are, you know, they look like they've been excavated and there's crystal forms. And then he connects them all together and creates these wonderful sculptures. I think that I love the shadow. I love the color. I love the texture. I love how bright they get. I like how they absorb the light. And so that's one use of glass that you can see that's really inherent, is the fact that he has them cold work to the point where they really do look like gems. They glow. He doesn't have to cold work them. He did it specifically to get that glow. An interesting fact is cold working is a technique that's been going around for generations, but more modernly in Italy, they use cold working techniques to remove the bubbles on the surface. And all of a sudden, so they can increase their production line. And as they started removing these bubbles, they became better at it. And they started to create more ways of cutting into the glass. And it became almost the Italian glass made after 1970 became kind of known for these cold working techniques. And nobody has any idea why. It just happened. Well, it was really just to save the production of glass that was being created from the region. Let's continue through the room, and we'll get through. Oh, no, next room, buddy. Left. Let's walk through. Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to say it's really hard to hear you guys in that room. So if there's any
okay, all right. So let's get to a room that you can hear me. It's hard to see these pieces. There's so many hot lights that it's really difficult to see the work, but this is work by Richard Jolly. Many of you know. I want you to look at the Tiffany-esque fumed surfaces. It's kind of bringing us back to that time when Ferd had the show in the early 70s, you know, really inspired by work made from that period of time. But I love the totem because he's kind of known for his totem. This is a Richard Jolly face, but it almost becomes like a landscape as it tears down.
Sure. Look at a little atom bomb
water. Atom bomb. Little explosion, reverse explosion. Ideas. And then, oh gosh. Oh my gosh. Kimberly Thomas. She's here right now and she is self-taught. This is lamp working. So we don't really show many artists that just come out of the blue. Usually they already have representation and we come across them at a gallery, but I saw her work in a local magazine. She's a Detroit artist and she uses lamp. Oh, award winner. Who are you? She's winning an award as we speak. This is one. She's going to be selected as one of the 25 artists that have an exhibition at the Fort Wayne Museum in Indiana this summer. There'll be 25 altogether. We had 3 jurors come out from the Detroit Institute of Arts, Fort Wayne Museum, and of course the Imagine Museum in St. Petersburg, Florida. But I want you to look at the lamp work of these pieces. Go a little bit closer. So this is like if you want to travel on a cloud, what do? You know, you create these, you know, you get a propeller from a boat, you get a little, you know, little satchel there and you tie it all together. And over here, how do you collect the cloud? Well, you get a machine. You create this machine through a ladder and some rusty screws and this weird pipe looking thing. And you create a cloud catcher. So I just love the creativity and the narrative that some of these pieces have. Look at the shadow on this one.
Oh, very
in the back. Isn't that great?
I want to live in her world. I talked to her about it yesterday. It's like she has this really steampunk kind of futuristic, weird Mad Max world that she lives in. And I think these are just so beautiful to see. A lot of photographers use this kind of worlds, but I've never seen it in glass.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. David Hutchhausen, we all know and love David. We've seen his work over the years. He's been working in glass for over 50 years. And he finds mixed material to add in his glass. But what I love about it is the optics. So now we're talking about op art. And so where does this classification come in? Well, it comes in something called op art. And a lot of times op art is kinetic. These aren't kinetic unless you move around them yourself. You become kinetic, but really they become kind of a kaleidoscope into different worlds. And really, I think just they're beautiful objects. They really are beautiful objects. All right, let's pan to the right. Noel Hart. These were assembled after a breakage in Australia. A number of his pieces were destroyed in a flood. And he lives in one of the most beautiful places in the world, Byron Bay, Australia. And he assembled each one of these on a dry hill made from shards of broken pieces that he found in his studio. And I just love the idea of recycling, kind of like Amber Cohen, taking something that was there or created and creating something and reusing the material to express your ideas. I really love that concept. And of course, these are the beautiful patterns that he had been inspired by birds from the region, these beautiful colored birds in Australia. Again, really beautiful objects. Of course, we know Davide Salvadori from the island of Murano, one of the maestros. There's very few left. China's kind of taken over.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, it's quite sad. And most of the things that you buy now in Venice are actually created in China. It's cheaper for them to actually import Chinese glass than it is to have the artists from the island of Murano make work. So, it's kind of, the maestros are dying off or disappearing or moving because the property is actually gone up in price as well.
And gas is so expensive. Half the furnaces are closed.
Well, I can't imagine now. Can you imagine
No,
yeah, it's got to be absolutely, a crazy price. And I mentioned that because of the Ukraine war, of course. Talking about Ukraine war, look at the colors in this one, blue and yellow. And, Deanna Clayton from Door County, Wisconsin. She's taken two objects, pate vert, two molds, and brought them together. And like Michael Glancy has electroplated them together to give them the stability to make them look like these ancient contemporary artifacts.
There you go.
Let's keep on moving through again. These are some of her figure forms. And as we're walking, okay, Katrina Weintraub, another young artist. Yeah, again, we're talking about narration. What are these bunnies doing? They're on the clouds. What are they saying to each other? What are they communicating? It kind of reminds me. It reminds me of the Noid, which was a commercial back in the 80s. Yeah, you remember that?
Yes.
Anyhow, really fun. Some humor brought to glass. It's really important, and you rarely see that because everybody's been so serious lately. Okay, let's move.
You can see Deanna Clayton definitely stayed home during COVID. She's made quite a few works, and they're all here. So there you go.
Well, yeah, we're glad to have them.
Oh yeah.
Marlena Rose, of course, from the Clearwater, Florida. These were sand casts. This is an owl that she had created for the show. It's called Who. I made that up. It's not really called Who. I don't know.
Look at the panels are beautiful.
Yeah, they're almost like an no, you don't have to. They're Aboriginal. They almost have an Aboriginal influence, as she is influenced by different cultures around the world. That brings us to an idea. There's a lot of appropriation being made, and a lot of museums look at it like, well, why these artists aren't from this culture? Why are they creating these pieces? And so we thought about, why don't we just get these artists together and find out why and explore where their influence is, and is it appropriate?
What is appropriation? What is not appropriation? Just a great show to kind of examine both ends of that. A dangerous show, but one that'll certainly spark discussion.
And we all know Tim loves danger. Your middle name's Danger.
It's true.
It is. It's Tim Danger Tank.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that.
That's what they'll let me in glasses. All right.
All right. So Vladimir Klumpar,
that's Klumpar number 2.
Central. Well, this is the
it's number 1.
Klumpar.
That's
Klumpar, student of Stanislav, Professor Stanislav Lubinsky. But you can. It's her. What's her? Beam Me Into the Gallery from June Heller. Okay, who's got the machine? Who's got the
June, we take you in a
We
minute,
love
girl.
you, June. We love you. I love some of the forums, and I love
These are stunning.
you have this stunning, and I know the technique may, but I'm trying to get out of not talking about technique. So you got to talk about op art or what
The
now look at
optics
these,
on that one are very upright, so it's beautiful when you walk around.
look at the sensual forms. These are kinetic, so you can actually move these braclaus left and right, and they wobble. And I was terrified when I saw my first one wobbling, and I saw it at Sarah Travers, and I said, "Sarah, what are you doing?" And she was wobbling the piece, and she goes, "They're kinetic, Corey. They're kinetic." And ever since then,
They hardly ever get chipped.
they get shipped. They don't get chipped.
Oh,
All right. So, okay, we all know Laura Doniford. Does the work speak for itself? But we have almost like this really wonderful texture of flowers inspired by nature, and then the vessel, like this Jackson Pollock vessel, really kind of an incredible sculpture.
I would say she did tell me today that those are
Alex-
probably the last she's doing for a great deal of time.
Alex Bernstein, there he is, the man, the myth, talking about a electroplated egg. This is interesting about these eggs that he had created. They're the only blown objects that he's made in over 20 years. 22 years ago, we had a show, one of our internationals, and he showed some blown objects, clear glass with the metal, and they were highly successful. So we did we really wanted to bring him to the forefront of this exhibition with those three. And of course, he's got these wonderful cityscape assemblages, which I really love. Sybil Peretti, she has two pieces in the show. She has a wonderful body of work at the Heller Gallery right now. I love these hawks. They're embracing themselves, bracing each other. The hawk is a representation of the guardian, the guardian that guards us all, and look at the way they embrace. Also, they have this eye of wisdom. They can see from very far away and see into people's souls and understand each other. And so as a guardian, you want someone to look over you. And that's why you see this imagery in a lot of her work.
I'm going to give Doug a plug. He also has one of her snow children.
Oh, that's probably the #1 best piece, by the way, that she's ever made. She's made a series of snow children. The one at Doug's is probably hands down, one of the best pieces that the artist has created here today.
Okay,
to the right.
Keep it going.
Udo Zembach from France. He says, I open up the door to my chateau, and this is what I see, these wonderful horizons, that are made. Again, I so badly want to talk about the material and the frit and the fusing process, but who cares? It's art.
Who cares?
It's art. And what we want to discuss
It's
is the
Rothko and
landscape.
glass.
Yeah, you say Rothko, I see a giant landscape.
Yeah.
Rothko sees a window, sees a doorway. We look past the doorway, and this is what you see. I see a storm coming in, and I see a beautiful sunset.
There you go.
I hope you see that too. And if you don't, tell me what you see. Martin Blank, look at these Grecian figures. This is what I look like when I take my shirt off, by the way. I don't know if you know that.
Let's not do that.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't have any flowers or feathers or leaves all over me. No, I'm kidding. This is based on Grecian sculpture during the Hellenistic period. That's before the Romans took over. And when the Romans took over, of course, they copied these sculptures over and over again and reproduced them and kind of made them famous. But at one time, they were these raw elements, and the human body was so unbelievably important at the time. And this is the time of gladiators. This is the time that they wanted to show their strength and power to other cultures, and that's what they believed in. And so I really love how he grabbed that element of history and brought it towards his work, and then added his own little contemporary part. The wheat comes in, and then glorifying. Go to the left, turn around, turn all the way around. Okay, no, all the way around. No, keep going. Okay, stop. Okay, go. Okay, so we got Cindy Hutter, inspired by the vessel. Is he a vessel maker? These are not functional, so can you call it design? What exactly do you call it? It's kind of fascinating. If it's functional, it can be design. If it's not functional, is it high design? What is the terminology used? And that's what we're trying to discover in time. Let's go back towards Brent Key Young's work, please, in the back.
I would also like to say, while he's turning, all of you who normally would be here and just couldn't come this time, thank you so much for tuning in. But I hope you get an idea how great this show is, because I know you miss it not being here. And we'll suck June Heller here through the phone lines. But anyway, we're hoping to give you a sense of how spectacular this show is.
I don't know. Nature, nature, glass, inherent in glass is inherent in nature.
I think it's a beehive,
well,
and they're showing it in a home.
You
So I
love
think it's
beehives. You
home.
have beehives in all your work.
That's
You
a
have beehives.
that's a
Yeah, it's
beehive.
not
I
a
think
bee.
inside of a
Oh, it's a
home.
wasp. It's a wasp nest.
There you go.
Okay, you're right. You're right.
Inside of
My
a
son
home,
had
so it's a home
Yeah.
for the bees. So that's what I'm
It
saying.
is. It is. Well, he pays homage to nature and things that you see every day, and he creates them in glass. This is a really wonderful piece. Got placed today, and we have another commission on its way, which is really kind of exciting for the artist. Brent is not here, so like you, he's zooming in. All right, let's move and pan out of the room because we're going all the way into the big room because we don't have time. Just go all the way. Just run. Run. No. Keep going. Latches are John. Okay, stop. Let's go into this room because we are, we've 15 minutes to get through this. All right, let's pan around a little bit. Okay. Oh, Tim, what the heck? I didn't know you were in the show. I didn't know you were in the show. It's amazing.
I'm
Okay.
not here.
What? No, you're not? Okay. That's a collaboration done by Tim, Tate, and Michael Janice. May I talk about your work for a second?
You can, but it's been placed. You don't need to. It's already got a home.
It's got a, let's go to the right. Let's talk about it for a minute. Come on.
I can tell you exactly what it is if you want me to. or you
No,
can.
I don't. I would like to say, first of all, in sign language, that spells wonder.
That's true.
Wonder, which is really kind of interesting, and it's really a very interesting piece because it's all connected to itself. It's about looking into our own lives and researching nature to do so. And so you've got this magnifying glass researching parts of nature. You got these wonderful foliage. It's about optics. It's about perception. You can see our life's perception. Oh, what are those? Is this bumblebees? Bumblebees. Incredible. Why are there bumblebees in your work, Tim?
Because I believe, since I had, many of you already know, I had a year to live at one point. So the only way I can make sense of my life is trying to understand nature. I thought it would give me sense to my own life. Now, all these years later, this is the first physical depiction of man trying to understand nature to understand himself.
So to understand nature is to understand oneself.
That's it. Because you can't, if you don't understand nature, you're never going to get to mankind because we're all part of it. We've lingered too long. Move on.
Look, he's embarrassed. He doesn't want to talk about his work. All right. I think it's a beautiful piece. And
yeah, but I wanted to see that
okay.
Albert Paley.
Okay, we will get to that. The endless smear, the butterflies again. Speaking about nature, you don't be embarrassed about your work.
I'm not. Are you kidding me? I would sit there the whole time.
Come on, let me promote you while you're here.
Greedy.
Oh, you greedy. Come on. Again, paying homage to nature, the dragonfly. Really look at that white frame. I love that frame.
That frame's pretty. It's gorgeous frame.
Okay, and Tim's going to have with Michael Janice some work at the Venice Biennale.
Yep.
At the Glass Dress Show with Adriano Barango. Again,
June 3rd.
Piece by Michael. Look how suggestive she is as she's looking through the flowers. I love that. And is she peeking through? Is that her flowers part of the hair? I love looking at the work and just questioning,
it's almost like a flower bonnet on her. She's kind of peering through that.
And I never try to question artist intent. I try to question, what I get out of it, not why did they make that, necessarily, because some artists don't even know why they make work. I asked Clifford Rainey, I said, what, you have this beautiful torso, it's pulled apart. Why did you make that? And he just couldn't understand. He didn't know why he made it. There was a reason, a subconscious reason, but he could not articulate that. So some artists don't know. And so I try to pull my own perceptions, which I hope you do too, when you're looking at the work. So again, Steve Lynn, Joseph Rice, oh my God, phenomenal. Look at the hat and the thick felt. Took him forever to find this and cut it down. And the hat that the artist is known for.
Beautiful.
And, it's a really incredible. Look at the César piece to the right. I want you to see the César piece where go to the right, pan to the right, Andrew.
You can't hear.
No, there it is. Okay, so it's very bright, but César was inspired by these people that would create basically planes out of junk, wings out of junk, and
he had a pet parrot.
Yeah, and so
He did.
He did. He's on his head.
Yeah.
It's on his head. And where did it go? It's on my head. And so he create these. Steve recreated the junk out of wood to show how they made these planes. And then the scribbles out of metal. He's trying to scribble his face out. So César made a famous drawing where he scribbled his face out, and only the eyes you could see. And so the metal reflects that. But really, really incredible. Oh, incredible piece. What an incredible artist. From the south of France, actually originally from the Chicago area. Let's pan out to the left. There's so much to see and so much to talk about. Work by Michael Behrens. We love Michael Behrens. These were inspired by wind and water. And so he's a deep sea diver. He jumps out out of helicopters, lands at these remote islands, and he goes diving. And he takes that imagery and he brings it back to the studio and tries to recreate these wonderful coral reefs.
He's currently scuba diving doing research.
I think he's treasure hunting myself. I would be actually, really beautiful colors that he gets in that. And I guess maybe, am I allowed to talk about color? Of course I'm allowed to. We're all allowed to talk about color. How beautiful are some of these colors that are created now in glass? Back in the 70s, look how ugly these colors are. I mean, it was mustard. We had two colors. We had mustard, we had ketchup. That's all we had. I don't even know. It's incredible. It's incredible. Okay. All right. Let's keep on going. Again, we've got 100 artists and I don't want to see them all, but I want to see as much as we can. Okay.
Right.
So Dean Allison's work. This is his daughter. Get close to this table here. I want people to look at this book and the table, and she scribbled into the table. Look at these hands. Oh, unbelievable. And you can see this texture. It's really quite incredible. It looks like, look at the desk. She's carved into the desk. Oh, I love this piece. Oh, I love it. Not as much as I love the winter piece right next to it.
Oh,
The winter piece. Oh my God. Look at this. The color, this opalescent glass and the happen. You feel, it feels cold. You feel like you're wearing those, what were they called? The suspenders, the overalls.
Sure.
Yeah, you're freezing. I'm looking at it, the blue in there. I mean, it absolutely, you get that feeling from the piece. And look at this. Whoa, stop. Go to the right, go to the right, go to the right, go to the window. This piece is phenomenal. Oh my gosh. This is COVID come on. I can't get out. Can I get out? I'm not allowed to leave the house. You're a child. My kids were Zooming. My kindergarten Zoomed. Can you believe that? How do you Zoom as a kid? You're not, it was crazy. So I relate to this piece because I was on the computer with my son trying to get him to work. I could barely work my own computer, let alone my son's.
Everybody went to the jar show. I forgot that's where everybody is, because the jar show just opened. That gives a little
across the street. Anyway. Yeah, it's nice. So are we looking in? Are we looking out? Are we part of the piece looking out at the world? Also it makes reference to museums and not being able to touch anything and feeling very restricted. And so you can look at it both. It comes with the chair, but you can actually put your own chair in front of it if you like to contemplate.
If you think casting pigtails on a child's head is easy, you should try it sometime. Just see how many failures you have.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
It's
hair. It's hair. It's hair.
This glove, and you gotta unmold it without breaking those off.
There's certain artists that, okay. So again, we're talking about inspired by different cultures. Jenny Pullman and Sabrina Knowles. Now, do they have a right to make African art? Absolutely. They're inspired by the culture, but that's the conversation that we're going to have in the future, because a lot of museums don't believe in that right now. They don't believe that. They take a totally different stance. And so what we're going to do is try to expose some of these artists that are making some phenomenal works, still inspired by different cultures. And I love the spears. I love the way that they're positioned. It's really look at that. Whoa, it's really a powerful piece.
My culture is best described by round robin bridge tournaments in the basement in the 1960s. But
we did euchre. But you don't know. You're not from the Northwest. You don't know. Euchre. Oh, you know euchre?
I can beat your ass.
We're gonna play euchre. You and I and Michael and.
I wish you'd bet money on that, because I need some,
really?
Cash.
Well, I don't have any money. No. Yeah, so buy something. No, I'm just kidding. Oh God, this is work by Joseph Ivacek from Chicago. He looks out of his window every day. What does he see? He sees the L. He sees these rusted elements, and so he built up over years. He wanted to make a statement, and this is actually all created out of glass. Again, we're trying not to bring the G word up, but we can, because we're a gallery devoted to it. But look at that's his son. What? He's asking the question, what? And the beautiful bottles that are crushed, that are used, really a successful sculpture, if you ask me. The intent. And here's his paradigm shift. So his voice. I allow artists to do whatever they want in this show. It's very important. And that's why you see artists influenced by the Black Lives Matters movement or whatever they like. I want them to make the largest or the most significant statement that they could possibly make in this show. And some artists take it that way. These are police shields made out of glass.
And if you want to ever join a gallery, this gallery totally encourage artists to go forward. If I said I want to add 5 pounds of stinky fish, Corey would say, make it 50. Don't stop there. Go for it.
Who doesn't like stinky fish, right? I mean, come on. So let's go up to the front of the, okay. So we see Dan Clayman's work over here, a true minimalist. Let's keep on going. Some of these are really hard to see. So we're just going to focus in the next 10 minutes.
Can we see
on Willie Gruten? He's in. 14 artists have flown in from all over the world, from Germany, from Japan. Wilfred Gruten being one of them. He's at the show. So next year, if you can't make it, you should definitely make it. Linda was with us in September, and we appreciate that, but you should definitely try to make this show next year for our 51st. In fact, we could probably call it the 50th again, just to get more people in here. Okay. Again, look at the optics on this piece. And, I like them. They look like little planets or eyeballs or just both,
that looks like a comet with smoke coming out.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Look at the color on the inside, like a birth of a seed, a baby. There's so many things that, it's so funny. Aaron has 3 little kids, and every time I talk to him, he's always like, that looks like a baby. You bring whatever that's happening to you in your life, to the art piece, sculpture,
I don't see babies.
Whenever you see it.
I don't see babies.
You don't see it. What do you see?
I don't have that in my life. Oh, wait, the best Albert Paley ever made. That one.
Why is it so successful? Well, really, because the entire sculpture, you can see the glass mimics the metal mimics the glass. It's about balance, construction, the great use of materials. You can't see any welding parts, and he's a
8
master.
feet high.
Look at the cylinder.
Beautiful.
Mimics the other cylinder, and we know that some of the artists that worked on it were Martin Blank, and of course John Lewis did the castings above.
If you see it in person, it's awesome.
It's really incredible. It was on the front of the AACG trip. We all took a trip to Tacoma. It was the first piece that you see when you walked into the museum,
right?
If you remember that trip. Look at it. Oh yeah, she's here. She drove this piece in from California, 3 hours. Can you believe that? That's dedication, by the way.
3 hours, not 3 hours.
3 days.
Yeah.
3 days. 3 days and 3 hours. I'm sorry. 30.
This, by the way, is by debate to the future president of the Art Alliance. President
elect
of the Art Alliance for Contemporary Glass, and that's her husband's work. Absolutely beautiful work.
What I learned is they sandblast these. Okay, so they're so thin, but they have to sandblast them so they give that wonderful texture as you're getting rid of the shininess part of the glass.
And it gets those little holes in it like a real leaf would have. So it's beautiful.
Yeah, they're really wonderful. But I love the position of them, and each one of them's positioned the way they want it to position, because they want it to feel like they're falling or you're jumping into a bunch of glass. That's my name. It's spelled with O-R-E-Y, just in case you don't know. No, I don't know what happened to her. We have technical difficulties right now. Oh, and this is an orange. Who is this made by? This is a color. This is Sean.
Which brings us to the end of this.
Scully.
For what we can do in this short amount of time, but we do have this is. I did a random number.
We've got a drawing. You got to show them the random.
Get the participants up, and I wish you count before. Then I'll show the number because I don't want it to go.
Okay, participants up 54.
Count down to this number.
Okay, so there's what number yet? We're number 9.
No, not yet.
Okay,
just count down.
All right, we're counting down. Okay, to the winner.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Scroll.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, yes.
Yes, it's Ellen Greenberger. She is the winner of a new, we have it right here, Shelley Allen Rhino limited edition. Let's pull it out.
Oh my God.
Look at
Mark.
that. Whoa. Look at that. Beautiful.
Wow, thank you. Oh my goodness.
Beautiful box that she has created. This is from Habitat Limited, a limited edition. We're happy to have you on the Zoom today, and I hope you do many more.
Linda,
thank you.
His screen. Put it back.
Way to go, Ellen.
Whoa. Well, that
You can take that white box off.
Here's Mark.
Hi, Tim.
congratulations.
Hey, Mark, I'm gonna see you forever. Hey,
I
buddy.
just won the door prize.
You just want a door prize?
Yes.
Door prize.
What-
You should all have a door prize this good. You just got to Shelley out.
I was hoping we won a door.
It fits
I'll
through the
give
door.
you a door if you
Fits
give me
through the
this.
door.
Right. All right.
Stay
Thank
well,
you.
guys.
We can't do it all today, but at least we got a lot of that show in there, you know?
Fabulous. Fabulous.
Are there any questions? We can't read the chat. Well, you can go to the chat and see if there's any questions there. That's not the chat.
Okay, so the
red button.
let's see. The questions are okay. Okay. Okay, Tom, thank you. You better come next time. I don't know what. Come on.
No,
No, I'm
no,
just
let
kidding,
Tom
I'm just
stay
kidding.
there.
Fine, just send Kendra. Okay.
There you go.
All
there you
right.
go.
Thank you, Diane Taylor. Appreciate it. Please be together. Love that. Agree the speed and distance from the pieces. Thank you, Diane. I appreciate that. What a wonderful, thank you, Judy Hurrit. I appreciate Linda. So we want to see them slowly. Okay, so we did kind of slow down a little bit, but we should have slowed down a little bit more.
Oh,
I
we
appreciate
should've, yeah,
Sarah,
sorry.
we love you too. We mentioned that earlier. Talk to us later. Mary White from California.
No, it's a
Fabulous
different Mary-
show.
different Mary White, different Mary
Oh,
White,
Mary
yeah.
Louise White. Oh, wonderful to see you. Thank you for coming in. This is
Great.
it's been a wonderful.
Did you want to talk a little bit about the future of Habitat and where you see glass art fitting into the?
It's going to be evolving the categories and stuff.
Yeah, so I do and I don't. That's a whole other Zoom, but I can talk. I can give I have time. So
A little bit of time.
thank you, Doris.
All help
Still
breaking
coming
loose
up.
downstairs.
Okay, yeah. The future. What are we? The future is now. You know, we're in the middle of something really kind of crazy. We're all thinking that you know that what's happened. The AACG is supporting this wonderful glass happening, and it's a bleep in time. But it's not the truth. The truth is that different artists are growing in different ways, and we're recognizing that. And it's not like there's a higher tier of artists. It's just they're growing in different ways. They're branching out in different ways. And the way that we can understand and communicate about the work is just changing our vocabulary. We have to get rid of the idea that we're in some glass movement and stop patting each other on the back. Because what we're trying to do, what we need to do, and I feel like we need to do, is really talk of it as it's artwork. And it's a struggle for me. It's a real struggle for me. But if we really do that and we put it in the context of artwork, then we can really push and elevate what we're doing. Galleries like myself kind of hold, we hold things back because we're clumping it all in glass. But really, what does Brent Key Young's work have to do with Vladimir Klumpar? Do you really think that they, you know, first of all, the work has nothing to do with each other. The glass is, one of them is almost like fiberglass. It's the work you use to make Bunsen beakers. The material is completely different. We just call it all glass, you know, but what it is, and like Larry Seabrook mentioned in his wonderful talk, is the fact that it is sculpture. And where does it fit in the realm of art, and how do we promote it in the future? And so that's what we're looking into doing as a gallery. And I had, like I mentioned with Ferdinand, him and I went back and forth. Aaron was involved, and many artists got involved.
Like the first thing Ferd did when I got here is send me 3 pages of his idea of what this should be. So
Yeah.
I was just like, just for your thoughts, read him, don't read him, he said. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah,
So-
I did the same thing to Ferd, and he crumpled it up and threw it at me. I mean, so we're trying to figure, it's not like living in it and trying to define it has always been kind of difficult, but it is something. We are behind it. We love what we're doing. We love the artists that we represent. We just have to change the way we talk about them and discuss them. And instead of it being how all the time, a why should be the answer. Why, you know, and you know, that I think could help. Is it an answer?
No. And
No.
there was no full conclusion met before today, Lynn. I know we're going to discuss it, but you'd be surprised how complicated it is once you actually make a conclusion, because then 15 other people have a different one. So that's being worked on. We'll do it at a later date on what the new category, how glass should be seen in the future. thing is, was a
neo-expressionism. There's all, I mean, there's so many different, I look at the work and literally trying to classify it, and then trying to dance around the fact that some of it is what we would consider decorative, museums consider decorative arts. And where does it fall? Where does it fall, and how do we branch out and get people that are in that world educated and understand that this isn't functional. Nothing that we do is functional. So why are we brought into this functional community when nothing that we do is fun? It's all artists expressing their feelings and their ideas. They just happen to use glass. They just happen to use the material they feel it's the best viable material to use. It's the best thing to use to express their ideas.
They're saying they need you over at the jar show.
Okay. I am needed at the jar show. No, but I really want to talk more about it. I'm really interested in talking about it. I have some really great ideas that I'm going to talk to people like Doug Heller and Daniel Ainsley, who's on the Zoom. I can't read everyone's name. It's just them that how to really move forward, or to just take what they've built over all these years and figure out a way to expose many people to it, because very few people have been exposed. Even the Netflix show Blown Away has done a phenomenal job of promoting glass. That's Catherine Gray. A phenomenal job of promoting glass, but to what context? So we would love to get more involved and have another in-depth conversation with the AACG and members of the AACG, and just to come together and band together to create a promotional, a way to market and promote glass in a better way.
The narrative rages on, and then we'll unfold as we get to it.
Corey, I want to just congratulate you and the gallery on 50 years of art.
Thank you.
That happened to be made from glass. Thanks for presenting this all.
Thank you, Larry.
It's a spectacular show, Larry. I would have loved to walk through with it. I mean, it's so good. We only
Well, maybe I'll get there in a month or so.
That's perfect time to come. Yeah.
All my best to Rita.
Okay. Good luck, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Unmute us.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a great
Fabulous.
rest of the show.
Great
Thank
show.
you.
Thank you.